When someone accuses you, criticizes you, or attacks your character, something automatic happens inside your brain. Your heart rate increases, your thoughts speed up, and almost instantly you feel the urge to defend yourself. You want to explain. You want to correct the story. You want to prove that they're wrong and you're right. This reaction feels natural. It feels reasonable. It feels human. But according to Niccolò Machiavelli, this instinct is not only wrong, it's dangerous, because the moment you defend yourself, you quietly give away power. In this video, we're going to break down one of the most counterintuitive principles of power ever written. The powerful do not defend themselves, not because they are always right, not because they are innocent, but because defense itself places you in a position of weakness. Once you understand this, the way people treat you, in arguments, conflicts, and social situations will change permanently. Every accusation creates an invisible courtroom. There is a judge, there is a prosecutor, and there is a defendant. When someone attacks you and you rush to explain yourself, you automatically step into the role of the defendant. Think about the language people use when they defend themselves. I didn't mean it like that. Let me explain. You misunderstood my intentions. That's not what really happened. All of these sentences carry the same hidden message. You have the right to judge me. Machiavelli understood something most people never realize. Power is not about truth. Power is about position, and the defendant is never in the position of power. The moment you defend yourself, you accept the frame that someone else created. You agree to play a game you did not design, and once you accept that frame, you are already losing. Defending yourself does not make you look innocent. It makes you look uncertain. It signals that you care deeply about their opinion. You feel threatened by their judgment. You need validation or approval. Even if your explanation is logical, emotional, or completely true, it doesn't matter. Perception always beats logic in power dynamics. Machiavelli wrote that people judge more with their eyes than with their minds. They feel before they think. And emotionally, defense feels like submission. The more you explain, the more you feed the attack. The more you talk, the more ground you give away. This is why powerful figures rarely justify themselves, not because they are flawless, but because justification lowers status. Most people defend themselves because they believe one thing: if I explain clearly enough, they'll understand. This is an illusion. Accusations are rarely about facts. They are about control. When someone attacks you, they are not searching for the truth. They are testing your position. They want to see, will you panic? Will you chase approval? Will you step down? And every word of defense answers those questions for them. Machiavelli would say this: never argue with someone who is trying to place you beneath them, because the argument itself confirms their authority. Silence is uncomfortable, not for you, for them. When you don't defend yourself, something strange happens. The attack has nowhere to land. The accuser expects resistance. They expect explanations. They expect emotional engagement. Silence denies them all of it. And the human mind hates unanswered tension. Without your response, they start to question themselves. They overthink, they backtrack, they reveal insecurity. Strategic silence forces the attacker to sit alone with their accusation. Machiavelli understood that silence is not emptiness, it is pressure. The person who speaks less controls the pace. The person who reacts less controls the frame. If silence isn't appropriate, there is another option that is far more powerful than defense. Attack the premise, not the accusation. An accusation always rests on an assumption. For example, you're selfish, you're unreliable, you're doing this for attention. Most people respond by denying the label. But Machiavellian strategy does something else. It questions the right to judge. Instead of saying, "That's not true," you say, "What makes you think you get to define that?" Or, "Interesting assumption," or, "Based on what authority?" This instantly flips the power dynamic. Now they are the one explaining. Now they are the one justifying. Now they are the defendant. You didn't defend yourself. You rejected the courtroom entirely. Anger shows involvement. Anger shows emotional investment. Contempt shows superiority. Machiavelli warned against rage because rage reveals loss of control. But controlled indifference sends a far stronger signal. A calm expression, a slight smile, a short, neutral response, not aggressive, not defensive, detached. Contempt doesn't shout, it dismisses, and dismissal is devastating to someone seeking power over you. Most attacks survive on energy. They grow when you engage. They escalate when you explain. They become real when you react. When you don't defend yourself, the attack is exposed as hollow. There is no echo, no friction, no drama. Without resistance, the accusation collapses under its own weight. This is why powerful individuals let rumors die instead of chasing them. Why leaders ignore critics instead of debating them. Why authority figures rarely respond to every challenge. Defense keeps the fire alive. Silence lets it burn out. This strategy is often misunderstood. Not defending yourself does not mean being weak. It does not mean accepting injustice. It does not mean letting people walk over you. It means choosing where and how to engage. You are not passive. You are selective. You refuse to fight in arenas that diminish you. You refuse to validate attacks that don't deserve legitimacy. Machiavelli believed power lies in choosing battles, not winning arguments. There are rare situations where explanation matters, legal matters, formal investigations, high-stakes professional consequences, but even then, notice who speaks for power. Lawyers speak, not defendants. Statements are issued, not emotional justifications. Controlled language replaces emotional defense. Even when defense is required, it is impersonal and strategic, never emotional, never reactive. The next time you are attacked, pause and ask yourself one question. Who benefits if I explain myself right now? If the answer is them, stay silent. If you feel the urge to defend, recognize it as fear, not logic. Fear of judgment, fear of misunderstanding, fear of loss of status. Power comes from tolerating discomfort, from allowing silence, from letting others sit with uncertainty. Machiavelli understood a brutal truth. Those who need to explain themselves are already beneath the judge. Power does not rush. Power does not justify. Power does not beg to be understood. Power sets the frame or walks away from it. Once you stop defending yourself, something changes. People hesitate before attacking you. They choose their words more carefully.